A very wise, old, holy priest taught me the sixth seismic shift. I met him when I was in Europe many years ago, and he was living in a monastery and clearly was a man of deep prayer. Clearly was a man who had dedicated his life to walking with God, trying to know himself, and helping as many others as possible to make that same journey. I asked him, what is the secret to, a vibrant, dynamic prayer life? He smiled, and I could tell it had amused him, and he said, just keep showing up. I expected something different. I think we often do. I thought I expected something more. I said to him, what do you mean by that? Just keep showing up. He said, I'm speaking in plain English. Just keep showing up. He went on to explain that, we make this shift in the spiritual life when the decision to pray is no longer a daily decision. We no longer wake up and say, am I going to pray today? Or do I feel like praying today? Or don't feel like praying today? Or what time am I going to pray today? He said this sixth shift is when we just decide we're going to show up no matter what. It's no longer a decision. It's a decision that has been made once and for all. We are just going to keep showing up and letting God do his thing, and trusting and believing that God is working in us through prayer, in prayer, even when it may feel the opposite. There are times when we go to prayer and we feel ecstatic, euphoric. There are times we go to prayer when we feel that God is far away, that God is not listening, that God is not hearing. And these times in prayer can be incredibly discouraging. But it's a mistake, always a mistake, to judge our prayer by our feelings. How we feel in prayer is irrelevant. There will be days when we feel euphoric, and there will be days when we feel discouraged, and God is working in all of that. In every situation, in every circumstance, whatever we think or feel in prayer, God is working in that, in us, through that. And so it is a great mistake to judge our prayer, and certainly a great mistake to judge how we think about our prayer or feel about our prayer. To say, I prayed well today. Did you show up? That's the big thing. Did you show up? Are you going to show up tomorrow? Are you going to keep showing up no matter what? Because the only real failure in prayer is to stop showing up. The only real failure in prayer is to stop showing up. And so the sixth seismic shift, just keep showing up. No matter what, just keep showing up. We've made our journey through the six seismic shifts in the spiritual life. You realize, they don't happen in that order to everybody. They happen at different times in different people's lives, but you also discover that you don't have to be a certain age to experience these enormous spiritual shifts in our lives. You don't have to have certain education. You don't need this degree or that advanced degree to experience these six spiritual shifts. They're available to everybody. They're available to anybody. And they're most available to us when we open ourselves up to them. When we open ourselves up to life, to the best version of ourselves, to God, and to the amazing possibilities that He can see for us, but that we very often cannot see for ourselves. The amazing possibilities that He sees for us, and that He very much wants to reveal to us if we will enter into the classroom of silence, sit down with Him, be with Him, and allow Him to guide us, encourage us, and challenge us.